My friends, this has been out on the internet everywhere. Every news channel has talked about it so far, but we don't want to put out more than 3 videos a day, so it just had to be delayed. And that is the PlayStation 5 has been discussed by somebody who's actually at Sony. So all of the rumors and the information that we've been seeing around the internet has been proven or disproven, or really not at all. And there's not a whole lot in here that you couldn't have guessed already. So Mark Cerny of Sony had an interview with Wired magazine or website. Are they still a magazine? Doesn't matter. Anyways, they got the exclusive scoop on the PlayStation 5 details. They revealed the things that we've known for quite some time, that it's gonna have a Navi GPU. It's gonna have a Zen 2 CPU. It's gonna be 8 cores. Oh, didn't guess that one already. It's gonna have ray tracing. Did we already do a video about how Gran Turismo's developer Polyphony Digital was implementing ray tracing into the next gen Gran Turismo, and therefore PlayStation was already gonna have to support it? Oh wait, we did. It's gonna have 8K support. Is that because there's new display standards that have better 8K support, and it's not because they're actually gonna be able to run games at 8K? It's gonna have more PSVR support. Is that because people have been reporting PSVR was gonna be refreshed in 2020? It's gonna be backwards compatible. Oh, is that because PlayStation 4 is on an x86 architecture and not on the stupid cell processing engine, which was super weird and hard to develop for? Is it gonna have an SSD? That one's actually new. Everybody really hoped that was what was gonna happen, that PlayStation 5 was gonna have an SSD, because that means boot times are gonna be better, that's gonna mean loading times are gonna be better, means that you're actually gonna be able to do a lot more things quickly on the PlayStation, and that's the one that nobody saw coming, except for people did. Anyways, that was the biggest hope that I think was confirmed out of what Mark Cerny had to say in his interview with Wired, was the fact that it is getting an SSD. The 8K support, yeah, HDMI 2.1, thanks so much. The PSVR support, yes, we've already heard that around. The Zen 2 and Navi, we've been reporting that for ages. The backwards compatibility makes sense from an architecture standpoint. And then the fact that it's ray tracing, yes, that one is a new, but it's the new buzzword. Ray tracing is basically VR right now. I mean, I remember when MSI was labeling their laptops VR ready, when all that meant was that it had the new graphics card. Like, it doesn't mean anything. And ray tracing doesn't have a standard definition. You could have ray tracing in the reflections. You could have shadows that are ray traced. You could have global illumination, or you could just have specific objects that are reflective. Not the entire world, not the entire game, only certain portions of your game are ray traced. So the fact that these things are supporting ray tracing doesn't mean a heck of a lot. The GTX cards from NVIDIA support ray tracing. It's already been shown that Radeon cards can support ray tracing. The issue isn't that ray tracing can't be done, it's that it can't be done holistically and completely in a way that is actually good and gives us the frame rate that we want, because it's too computationally intense. NVIDIA actually did something innovative with the RTX cards, giving it dedicated hardware of the tensor cores and the ray tracing cores. Not because it makes it possible, but because it actually makes it good. And that's the difference here. If we're gonna have ray tracing on the next generation of consoles, it's gonna suck if they implement it with global illumination and reflections and shadows and subsurface scattering, and they implement all of the features. It's gonna be garbage. And my guess is that this just means that they're gonna implement it in select scenarios, in select games, in things that actually matter. Like in linear games where you have to look into a mirror. If they apply ray tracing to that mirror, then everything's gonna look the way it should, and it's gonna make you feel more immersed in the world. But like the background details, why would they ray trace that? There's too much computational power. Yes, it'll make the developers' jobs easier to turn that on, but I doubt this Navi GPU is actually gonna be able to run it. Anyways, that's my perspective on it. And then I just want to give mention to the fact that this was actually, a lot of this was already leaked back in December by somebody who said that they were a third-party small developer from the EU who was working on a game for the PS5. It seems like most of the stuff that they got there was actually quite nice, including the fact that it's not going to be released this year, but that there was going to be a small reveal in Q2 of 2019, which is just now, like it's Q2 right now. The fact that it's either going to be released in March or November of 2020. Sony confirmed that it will be in 2020. It's not going to be in this year, so it could be either one of those. It said it's going to be backwards compatible. There are going to be physical games. It's going to have an 8-core Ryzen 7nm CPU and a 7nm Navi architecture. They're stating that it's going to be around 14 teraflops. It's possible, especially if we see that there is that 1.8 gigahertz boost or base clock on the Navi GPU from the leaked APU that we saw in a previous episode of the Hot Takes. And that it's also going to support 8K upscaling, and that there would be a PSVR 2 in 2020 with an increase in resolution, probably up to 1440p. So overall, the PlayStation 5 small reveal, if that's what we want to label it, is some great information. It's confirming things that could have already been deduced from all of the relevant information out there. It's good to hear that Sony's actually working on it. It's kind of sucky that they're not going to release it this year, but I mean, they need time to come out with The Last of Us 2, the Final Fantasy 7 remake, Grand Theft Auto 6. What other games are probably going to launch? Anyways, yeah, there's a whole lot of reasons that this could be really great for that. Anyways, that's it for this hot take. Let me know what you think of the PS5. You keen on the specs? How does that SSD sound to you? Let me know down in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the hot take. Get subscribed to the Hot News channel for more dedicated clips like this. And I'm Brett with this one. Bye.